quit taking my juice, man.
Anyway.
So this is Lisbon Part 2.
Take 2.
Because
Action. Hey there, and welcome to Wandering Works for Us. We're Shelley and Beth, a married couple living in Portugal and exploring the world one story at a time. Come wander with us as we laugh through language fails, cultural surprises, and GPS disasters, and discover just how amazing this world can be. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, Wandering Works for Us. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Beth.
And today we're going to do a part 2 of Lisbon.
Yes, we are, because Lisbon needs at least 2 podcasts,
At
if
least,
not more.
Maybe 3.
One of the things that I liked about what you said is part 1 was about seeing Lisbon, and part 2 is about understanding it.
Aww.
And that's a good way to put it, because in part 1 we covered a lot of the tourist sites, like Geronimo's Monastery and the Blind Tower and the stuff down by the water, and Alfama, the neighborhood. So now we're going to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, so if you're in Lisbon or you're staying in the area for more than 2 days, there are other things that you can do while you're there.
There are 2 things that we like very much that are both kind of, I would call them out of the way.
Yeah.
They're a little more difficult to get to on public transportation, though it's possible, but it's better really to Uber or Bolt if you can. And those 2 things are the LX factory.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, which we'll talk about, and also the Tile Museum, which we talked about last time, and I love it, but it is definitely, you have to mean to go there.
Yeah, so when we plan a trip, Beth does most of the work. But
You're welcome.
we'll make a list of the things that we want to see, and then we'll go to a Google map and see where they are on the map and make sure that we can get from one place to another fairly easily. The thing about Lisbon is it's hilly as you know what.
Very hilly. Well, it's called the City of Seven Hills, just like Rome.
So you kind of, if you don't know where the hills are when you're going from one neighborhood to the other, because if you're going from Barrio Alto is up on one hill and you have to go down and back up to get to Alfama.
Yeah, it's true.
But you could do a lot of that on the public transportation or the funiculars that they have. They'll take you up the hill.
Yeah.
But getting down into Belém and then like where the LX factory is, it's kind of out of the way of everything. You can get there by public transportation, but it's almost like it's a separate part of the city.
Yeah, it kind of takes a while, even though it's not really a separate part of the city. But I don't know. There's something about it. It just takes a while to get there, as well as the Tile Museum. Not that all of what we just mentioned isn't worth it.
Oh, it's all worth it, I would say.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
But, if you have 2 days and you want to ping to all the popular spots or something, these, you may not be going out that far.
No.
So we're going to talk about some of the things that we have done after the first podcast. These are things that I would call not really tier 2 exactly, but things that aren't always on every, here are the 5 things you must do.
Yeah.
Lists. And the first one is what?
São Jorge Castle.
I loved this castle.
Now, yeah, here's the weird thing. We had heard from other people at one point that it wasn't, I'm not going to say not worth the trip, but it wasn't a major feature, even though you can look up on the hill and you see it and it's beautiful and it's lit up at night. But a lot of people are like, well, it's just ruins. You just walk around ruins. That is not entirely true.
That is not.
It is worth the climb.
I mean, there's a museum up there.
The views are incredible.
Oh.
You get a whole view of Lisbon.
Yeah, because you walk around it, and so you end up with kind of a, I don't know if it's 360 degrees, but you certainly end up with views everywhere. And we should say that we went with our niece Katie when she was here.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie. Also, as the animal lover I am, I loved the peacocks that were up there. And they had, when we were there, they had chicks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. So that's cool. There's peacocks everywhere.
It is ruins, and you can climb across the walls and be up high and see all of Lisbon. And then, like Beth said, there's a small museum there of artifacts that they've dug up as they've been excavating the area. And of course, it's high up, and there's, a few signs that say danger, go at your own risk, but there's no handrails on those stairs.
Of course not.
You need to be careful.
But
Katie and I climbed the stairs and saw the whole thing. It was amazing.
I was in bad knee phase, so I didn't. I saw plenty from where I was. We have great pictures.
Amazing pictures from there.
Yeah.
You can take a taxi kind of almost up to the gate, but not quite to the gate. We did have to climb some steep hills to get up to the castle because some cars just aren't allowed up there. You might be able to take a tuk-tuk up there on one of their tours, but they're starting to limit where those tuk-tuks can go in Alfama, so I'm not certain about that, but it's worth the climb. It's totally worth the climb.
And even with the hills, it's not like it's rock climbing. You're just walking up the hills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It works your butt. It's good.
Indeed. Point of order, baby peacocks are called pea-chicks.
Pea-chicks.
Isn't that cute?
That is adorable.
Yes.
We recommend you either go early or go late because, of course, the midday crowds. And if you're there in the middle of the summer, it's going to be hot as you know what.
Yeah.
So I think we went early in the morning, like at 10.
I think we did. It was early.
And it was hardly any crowds, and we walked right in. No lines, no nothing. It was great.
If it was a good sunset day, it'd be pretty to be up there for sunset too.
Yes. And you can see out across the river, and you can see the April 25th bridge out there.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's
So
a great view.
if you've got one day in Lisbon, you're probably not going to make it up there unless that is totally your thing.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that we recently saw when your son Eli was here.
Yes.
Hi, Eli.
Hi, Eli.
Was the Carmo Convent and Museum. And it's an archaeological museum now. But once upon a time, it was a church or a convent.
Built in the late 1300s.
Yes. So it was around during the earthquake, which is what makes it kind of an archaeological museum.
Yeah.
Because during the earthquake of 1755, which I hope you know about and we've talked about on our podcast, it demolished.
The roof collapsed.
The roof collapsed.
And there were people who were sheltering in there.
Yes.
And it killed all those people.
Yeah.
Which is sad. But they left it as a memorial, basically, for that disaster, for the earthquake. And it is now one of my favorite things in Lisbon. It is just, you look up, there's no roof on the church, if you will, but all of the vertical pieces are still standing. There's just no roof. And you look up and you see the sky, and then they have architectural pieces that didn't all fall off this church. Some of them they've brought in from other places, and they're displayed outside, inside this shell of a church. And it is really, I don't know, there's something about it that is so, so beautiful. If you think of the church as a cross, the parts that went to the right and the left of the church survived. They were damaged, but they survived. And it's like a museum in there. And one room is all about books, and then another room is all about whatever.
They had mummies in there.
Yeah, there were mummies. There is, remember the excellent film presentation?
Yes, and then
was.
There's a great film presentation on one side of it.
And it kind of shows the earthquake and how it was and how it is and all of that. Also, it was turned into the archaeological museum in the 1800s. The Portuguese Association of Archaeologists, that's kind of hard to say. And so they're the ones that decided to do it. And this is not why it's one of my favorite places, but it certainly contributes to it. There is a resident black and white cat named Carlotta. And Carlotta comes out, she might be sunning, where the sun is. She might be wandering. She's very friendly. She wanders amongst the guests, and she lives there. And I thought that was very cool.
I think she's got her own Instagram page, or she's been like the most Instagrammed cat.
Yeah.
I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really neat. But she's there hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, because she's very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was very cool. If you like architecture and ruins and archaeological, I'm just going to call them components
Artifacts.
of buildings, artifacts.
Yeah.
It's a really great place to go.
It was cool. I'm surprised I haven't suggested it before.
I know.
I don't know what in the world I was thinking, or maybe I didn't know it was there. I mean, it's one of those things where if you're up on the elevator, or you're on the castle, or you're somewhere up high on one of the Miradoros looking out on the city, you can see the arches in the view in the city, by themselves out there.
Right, because it's distinctive because there's no roof.
Yeah, because there's no roof, but you don't really register, oh, that's the archaeological museum that used to be. Yeah, it's just so cool.
Yeah, it's very unusual. The next thing we're going to talk about, you have been to and I have not.
Yes, the National Pantheon.
And I need to do that one day. But
it was really cool. It was one of those things on Katie's list that she wanted to do. And another thing that I didn't know it was there. And it's another thing that used to be a church and now it's converted into a museum of sorts.
Yeah.
But it has basically it's a grave site in a sense, because it has a lot of people, famous people, politicians, musicians, athletes that were buried there.
It's also
paying honor to these people.
But it's also a beautiful big building with a dome, right?
Oh yeah. So you walk in
like
and
most pantheons.
Yeah, it's a big dome and you look straight up, and you can climb up there too and get a great view of the city. Also, we did that. We did it on a really windy day, so all of our pictures, our hair is everywhere. But it had us about 4 or 5 flights up to do that.
And it is close to Alfama?
It's in Alfama.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So while you come down the hill from the castle, pop into the Pantheon, and if you're there on Saturday or Tuesdays, they have a great flea market out there. The Feira de Ladra. And it's a place set up where you can, they've got books and trinkets and dishes and, all sorts of neat things. And so if you're on a tour and you're going through Alfama either on a Saturday or a Tuesday, highly recommend you check it out. We were there, I think, on a Tuesday to go to the Pantheon, and we hit the tail end of it before they were packing up.
Where was I?
You stayed here for some reason. I don't know why. Because we took the bus down and everything.
Oh.
I think we went to Geronimo's that day. We did the Pantheon. We did the market. And we went to the Tile Museum.
Oh.
And it was all things that she wanted to do. And we'd done half of those. So
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I probably stayed here with the dogs or something.
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's really neat, and you walk in to the front door, and most of the special graves are off to the left and to the right. And of course, Amalia is there. Eusebio, the soccer player, was there.
Oh,
He's very
also
famous.
Umberto Delgado is there, who was a military general and political dissident. Gotta love that.
Yes,
who opposed the dictatorship, but he's who our airport's named after.
Yeah. But my favorite one is, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Aristides de Sousa Mendes.
Probably like Aristotle.
It could be. And this guy, we'd heard stories like in classes and other things where he was a consulate in Bordeaux during World War II. And he had been on strict orders not to give visas to Jews and undesirables to come into Portugal. And he did not follow those orders. Another dissident.
Yeah.
And basically let in close to 30,000 people into Spain and Portugal so that they could escape from World War II.
Yay.
But it caught up with him. He lost his job. He lost all his money. He died in poverty. But like in the it might have been in 1990s. It wasn't that long ago. They moved his grave into the Pantheon to honor him.
To honor him.
Yeah.
Good for us, for Portugal.
Yeah.
So you think that it's worth going if, first of all, you're in Alfama, because it's there, but also if you like monuments.
If you like monuments, yeah. And if you want another view of the city, of course, you've already been up to São Jorge Castle. You've seen a lot. If you've been to the Miradouros, you've seen a lot. But it's another great viewpoint. They also had an art display, I think, on the 4th floor of some local art. And one of them talked about the Carnation Revolution.
Oh, cool.
Which was really neat. So, yeah, I enjoyed it because I knew who a lot of those people were now since I've been studying Portuguese history. And so it was neat to see their graves. And if you enjoy churches and you want to see another organ, this one wasn't as big, but there is an organ
but there
in
is
there.
An organ?
Yeah.
Yes.
To go. So, it's not one of those that a lot of people put high on their list, but if you're going to be there for many days, I would recommend it.
And is it free?
No.
Okay.
But I got him free because I was a resident. But
right.
I think it's like €7 or €8.
Yeah, so it's not cheap.
No.
I mean, it's not expensive.
No, it's like
Cool.
all the other museums, really.
Yeah.
Speaking of museums, as we are, seem to have a list of them.
Yes.
The one we've both been to, and we took our friend Meg to. Hi, Meg.
Hi, Meg.
Was Quake.
And this sounds like it's going to be this touristy, like, nonsense. It's going to be expensive, and it's just not, it's going to be hokey, if I can use that word. Just not that great. Unless you have small kids or something. But we loved this place.
Well, first of all, I am going to say it was a little hokey.
Oh, it was.
The leading into the story that they kind of put up. But it's an interactive museum about the earthquake of 1755. So it gives you a lot of history about what happened. And it leads you through the whole story and tells you all about how earthquakes work, why they happen. It talks about famous earthquakes in Japan and like San Francisco. It gives you a lot of science and background information.
But not like
But it's
boring.
not boring at all. No,
Well,
it's interactive. You're playing with all the stuff.
And sometimes you're holding on to something and it's quaking under your feet.
Yes, that was cool too.
And then is the last thing where you go into where the chairs are and you sit down and you watch something and the chairs move.
Well, you end up going up through this remake of an Alfama street where they have redone like the street itself, and it looks into houses, and they have a window into a convent. And,
that's right.
And the thing about the window is they have a TV screen back behind that window. So when you're looking through the window, you're watching the nuns, and one of the nuns comes to the window and asks you what you want or something.
Yeah.
And you look over into a doorway and you see people walking by. So they've set it up so it looks very real, like 1755 Alfama. And it's really cool. And then you go into the church area into the church area.
Yeah.
And you sit in the pews, and they're just as uncomfortable as regular church pews.
They are indeed. This is not a Disney World individual
no, it's
chair
not.
thing.
I mean, it's giving you the realistic thing. And so you're sitting in this church and you're looking, and it's screens kind of all around you. So you feel like you are in the church. Mm-hmm. And then the priest comes out and does his thing, and you're looking over, and there's like a cat sitting in the window. And then your pews start to rumble. And so you start to move and jerk. And as that's happening, you watch the video of what's going on around in the church. and you can see like the ceiling's starting to fall in.
Yeah,
And
things are crumbling. Fires are starting. Yeah, it is very, I would call it realistic in a Disney sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And those pews jerk you around.
they do.
You got to be careful.
I would
yeah.
not sit in them if I had a lot of back problems. Now, you can do the whole tour and then sit in a seat off to the side, still watch the film and everything, but not be in a moving pew.
Yeah.
You can do that.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, it was. We really, really, it made me feel like I really knew a lot more about the earthquake and its effects on Lisbon. Even though I had read about it, this sort of brought it alive.
Plus, 'cause they lead you, they tell you to escape the church while you still can.
Oh, yeah.
And when you come out, you're still in an Alfama street, just another one, and it's red and it's smoky, and it's like you've come out to where everything is on fire, and you're looking at windows where things are burning down. And then they had one particular viewpoint where you can stop and watch, and you can see the tsunami come in.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
that's
cool.
right. That's right. And that's sort of, if you're interested in this kind of thing, that really connects nicely to the Carmo, convent. And I don't know, we really enjoyed it.
Well, as you go through Lisbon, everywhere, you're going to see effects of that earthquake. Because, number one, some things have never been restored. Like there's a church in Rossio Square that still has smoke, on the pillars and things in there that they have never repaired.
Yes.
And
on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. And there's things everywhere that, talk about this major earthquake because it was such a catastrophic event for everyone.
I mean, it basically destroyed
Lisbon. They had to pretty much rebuild everything but Alfama. And that was only because Alfama was up on the hill. And on rocks.
Other places, too, because of the tsunamis.
Yeah. It was real. It's just a really neat museum to learn a lot. Plus, if you got kids, especially if they're, I would say, like 8 and older, they would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it kind of sort of gives you a mission. Now, the only thing that I would complain about with this museum was that we didn't have enough time to see all the stuff. Because it's timed entrances.
Yes.
And they have so much information to read through that you're just not going to get to it.
Was it a lab, or there was somewhere we were where it was old?
It was the last part of the museum.
Yeah.
Where you were supposed to look through some historic documents and talk about how to rebuild it, or, all of that kind of things. And we didn't get to see all of that because it would have taken forever.
Yeah.
Plus, historian. Must read everything.
Yeah.
So another thing that you should totally do if you have time in Lisbon is go on a food tour.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to be very picky about the food tour.
We've been on some good ones. We've been on some mediocre ones.
Yes. And I would say I'm going to put a link in the show notes, and then I'm going to, plug somebody because I think this would be a better food tour. I think we went on a general, what did we go to, maybe 4 places food tour.
Yeah.
Now, it's it's cool in the aspect that you're going to get to try wine and you're going to get to try some basic Portuguese food.
Yes.
So like the first one we went to, we had vinho verde and cod croquettes.
Yes.
And, as we were eating them, we were like, well, these are kind of average. We've had better croquettes than this before.
We've also had
better wine before.
Verde as well.
And then we went somewhere and we had port and chorizo and cheese, and that was pretty good.
Yes.
And then we went somewhere and we had duck rice, and then we went somewhere and we had bafanas and beer.
Those bafanas were fabulous.
The bafanas were really good.
We're going to go there and actually eat
Alfonso's
sometime
bafanas
when we're there.
in Lisbon. Highly recommend. Those were the best bafanas I think I've ever had. And then we went to a wine tasting where we had some snacks too. That's where we ended the night. So we went to 5 places.
And it was an extensive tour, and
How long was that tour? A couple hours?
No, I think it was like 3 or more. It was a while.
Okay.
But one of the things that I love about food tours is you learn a lot more than just the food. You get the history behind the food and why it is like it is, and what was it originally and what is it like now, and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
You really learn a lot.
And that's really cool. And plus, the majority, we had tried pretty much everything that we ate on that food tour. But now we knew more about it and why it was a traditional Portuguese dish.
And if you're visiting Lisbon and don't live here, that might be the only time you try those different
That's
foods,
true, yeah.
depending on how long you're here and that kind of thing. So it's a great, I highly recommend doing one. And as Shelley said, we will link one in the show notes so that you can pick a good one.
Yeah, I feel like the one we were on was short, but maybe just because by the end of it I'd had enough wine and beer that I was like, woohoo! But from everything that I've read, and I think I even put this in the original blog post, that the Oh My Cod food tours were the best.
Yeah.
5-star reviews all the way around. Now,
Yes.
This is a 4-hour plus food tour. So if you're a foodie, that's the one you go on. And you get like 17 different food items. You get wine, beer, coffees, teas. You get a really extensive tasting.
Yeah.
And of course, you always make new friends when you're on
You
a food
do,
tour.
and I don't think I've had a bad tour guide yet.
Oh no, we haven't had a bad tour guide yet.
that. Yeah. So
We've had some mediocre ones, but not a bad one.
yeah. So recommend looking up and doing a food tour.
Yes. The LX Factory is a lot of times on people's list of things to visit. But geographically speaking in Lisbon, it's in an odd place. It's like at the foot of the April 25th bridge.
It is.
And in a factory area, because that's what it was.
That's what it used to be,
It's renovated factories. And it's not that easy to get to,
Though we took an Uber.
but it's worth it.
Yes. Totally worth it. Well, sure, tourists go there because it's on a list. So it is, there is a bit of touristy.
It's touristy without feeling touristy, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's still worth it.
Because I
There's-
didn't feel, like we were in a real tourist spot.
No.
It wasn't incredibly busy the day that we were there. And we were there in June
Yes, we were.
on a weekday. And we were there for lunch. And we were able to get a table. And it had many different restaurants that you can choose from.
Lots of different
Foreign
restaurants.
foods and all sorts.
We ate at a Turkish?
It's Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
It was a Mediterranean. Lebanese. I think it was Lebanese.
Yeah, it was. It was Lebanese, and it was very good.
It was very good.
And then there's this whole creative component to the LX Factory, partially in all of these really great shopping places that you can go into, but also it's an old factory, and so they invited street artists in to do murals. So there's lots of really cool murals on the outside of the buildings, inside too.
There's a great bookstore there, too.
There is a good bookstore.
And it's a neat place to just walk around and go shopping. It's not very big. It's one of those places I would recommend that if you're in Belém and you're headed back toward Alfama, it's in the middle. So just kind of stop there, have some lunch, and then take an Uber back to wherever you're going.
Yeah, it's a great place to stop and have lunch and wander around a little bit. It's the kind of place where some of the young executives would go and have a drink after work. And it's a little
It kind of, yeah.
it's
feels
a
like that.
It's a little hip, if you will. There's, cool lights strung up outside everywhere and that kind of thing. But it's not pretentious and it's not too touristy.
No.
I would go there.
Yeah. We have gone there.
We have, and I would go again.
The last part of this podcast, we want to talk about kind of little bonus things that you may want to check out or you might experience depending on what time of year or what you're doing.
You might see some of these things as you're just going from one location to another, if you're walking, that kind of thing.
Now, if you're here at Christmas time, we highly recommend you check out the Christmas markets.
They are very good.
They are very cool, and I even did a whole blog post on the Christmas markets. But the one in Rossio Square has all kinds of stalls set up with
food, crafts,
wine,
jewelry, wine, just all kinds.
And they have entertainment some nights going on.
Yeah.
It's really cool to get you into the Christmas spirit.
Lots of Christmas music playing and lights, and we went not once but twice.
We went twice
last
this
Christmas.
year. And then the Park do Eduardo the 6th, maybe? Park do Eduardo. Look at that one up. But that's where Winter Wonderland is.
Yes, we also went
and
to
they had an ice skating rink and a Ferris wheel and some rides. And then, of course, all kinds of stalls with food and wine.
And crafts.
And crafts and all. And the Christmas lights are beautiful.
Yes.
So it's a good time of year to come to get into the Christmas spirit. And it's not so cold.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, it's like we've talked about with other Christmas markets that we've been to, some of the other Christmas markets. The emphasis is on food and entertainment and then some crafty things. It's not the place where you go and buy, like in Belgium and France and some of those places where you get the really cool nativity scenes or that kind of thing. It's not that kind of Christmas
mugs.
market.
They didn't have Christmas mugs at this one.
It's different, but it is fun.
It is fun.
It's more like what's in London.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there is an area in Lisbon that I really love. It was all pretty much built for the 1998 World Exposition, which if you're listening from the United States, you'll recognize it more as the World's Fair. I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we had the World's Fair. But here they call them the World Exposition, or Expo 98, it was called. So anyway, they built this whole area that used to be old docks and I don't know what else. And but one of the cool things that Lisbon did is every building that they built for this World's Fair, they built it with the next use in mind. So there's a 5-kilometer walk along the river. The Oceanarium, which is like an aquarium, I've been to and loved, went with my son. The Lisboa Ballet, their building is down there where they perform. They built Orient Station, which is a major train and bus station in Lisbon. And the canopies and things that are overhead when you're at that station are, first of all, just a work of art. But also all of that was built for this World Exposition, and now it all has other uses. And if you just want to go and like have a low-key day and wander along the river, it's beautiful. You can see the bridges. There's great restaurants along there you can eat at, and I recommend going down there. One of our favorite hotels to stay in Lisbon is down there, and it's called the Iconic, and maybe you can link that.
I can link it. It's about two blocks from Orient Station, and so it makes it really convenient for us because it's also the bus station, so we can take the bus into Orient and walk to the hotel room and then enjoy our day.
It's reasonably priced.
Yes.
And we have just had great luck there, so we recommend that. And also, plug for the Lisboa Ballet. They are very good, and they have shows kind of year-round. If you love ballet, I would recommend
Highly recommend you check that out.
Yeah. Another thing that I personally love about Lisbon is the street art. And it is everywhere.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit in the first one.
We did. So we
but
probably
you
talked
can't talk about it enough, really.
Yeah. So we probably talked about Bordalo too. The art. He's called an artivist, which cracks me up. It's a great name because he makes these big animals out of trash. things that have been discarded. And of course, it's a cool animal, but also it is a statement about what we throw away in the trash. So his stuff is always fun to see. Rooftop bars are pretty common in some areas of Lisbon.
And
those are fun. Yeah, they're fun.
Especially along the Avenida de Liberdade, where all the fancy stores are.
Yeah.
So you can walk by Louis Vuitton on your way to a rooftop bar.
Yes, you can.
And most rooftop bars are part of a hotel or something, but they will let you up there to have a drink or two.
You just go up, and the drinks aren't the cheapest in the world.
Oh, God, no.
But the views are gorgeous.
They're about twice as much as they should be.
The views are gorgeous, and it's just kind of a fun experience to be up there. One other thing is the São Bento neighborhood.
We need to go back to this place.
Yes.
For a couple of reasons.
When did we stay there? Was it for the comedy concert?
It might have been for the comedy concert. We wanted to stay in a different part of the city that we hadn't been in before.
I can't remember, but it's a great neighborhood.
Oh, it's more local.
Yeah.
Definitely. They have great shops there, and the
restaurants.
The house where Amalia Rodriguez grew up in is right around the corner there, and that's why I want to go back. I want to visit that museum and house where she was.
I also saw a lot of antique shops. That kind of thing. It was just a really...
We had a great breakfast there.
Yeah, it was a really great neighborhood to kind of... So I would even recommend staying there.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the São Bento of Porto.
Yes, different.
It's very different.
It's very different. I really liked it. I think Lisbon, or Lisboa, as we say, always rewards you when you wander. It is one of those cities that around practically every corner is something you want to take a picture of. Mm-hmm. And so many good restaurants and cafes. And it's just a really great city to kind of get lost in and just wander around.
Absolutely. Well, I think we wrapped that up pretty well, didn't we?
I think we did.
All right. So, coming up next, we have a special guest next week.
We do. We're very excited.
So, any of you that follow Anita De Silva or Portuguese with Anita on Instagram, Facebook, she's going to be doing an interview this week with us on our podcast. So, hopefully, that will be out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Depending. Hopefully our equipment will do us right, because every time
we have a new microphone and we're trying to, I don't know.
Why is it being so difficult?
We're having some technical difficulties, but hey, we managed to do this.
Yes, we did. We managed to do this. And of course, we've told you all about our upcoming trips anyway, but I think that perhaps we will be focused on Portugal for the next couple months since we have guests coming in.
We do.
And we also have an interview coming up next month with Yolanda about living as immigrants.
That'll be good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So,
and we would be remiss if we didn't mention that the Portuguese presidential election just happened.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. And, one of the things I love about Portugal is that when you turn 18 here, you are automatically registered to vote.
Wow.
Yep.
You mean you don't have to go fill out a form? Because that's really unusual here.
You do not. Yeah, really, it is. True that. But you do not have to consciously go do something. You are automatically registered to vote when you are 18. And they hold elections on Sundays when people are off of work and can get to the polls. So
And the polls are very local.
Very local.
I mean, people don't have to drive really far to get to their poll.
If
that.
If they're driving, a lot of people walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was a good success. We have had some flood, not us, because we're high on a hill, but there have been areas of Portugal that have been affected by the count 'em, 5 named storms that have come through here. It's very, very unusual, everyone tells me. And it's definitely the most unusual winter we've been through, but we have had rain and storms for weeks. And the dams are full, and the undammed lakes and rivers are full, and in some places there's been some flooding. Yeah, it's been a little heartbreaking to watch read
Send your
about some
prayers
of the
out
news.
to Portugal. Yeah.
But we're fine. We did lose power and internet and all of that for a few days, but we're good, and we're looking forward to some sunshine.
Oh my God, yes. It's been raining for
Days.
40 days,
Yeah.
40 nights.
Well, I mean, really, we should be building an
So
ark,
many.
I think.
We
but-
weren't on the ARC list. Nobody told us.
Yeah.
So we're, if you get this message,
However,
we're
it is
still
hard-
here.
It is very hard to complain when we look at our friends in the United States who have been dealing with ice and snow also for several weeks, sub-zero temperatures, and even if it's raining, we get up into the 50s.
That's true.
Sometimes into the low 60s.
I'm wearing shorts right now, so it's
So,
okay.
what have we got?
I'm inside, but I'm still wearing shorts.
We have nothing to complain about.
No.
Anyway, I think that's it.
I guess that's it. So right now, actually, we're going to say boa noite.
Oh, yes. Boa noite.
Thanks for wandering with us. If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just enjoyed the ride, be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, and I think that's it. Check out our website at www.forus, that's www.forus.com, and drop us a line at our email address at wandering@www.forus.com. We'd love to hear from you, your stories, questions, or favorite travel fails. Until next time, keep exploring, keep laughing, and remember, wandering works for us, and it just might work for you too.